You planted that mint by the front door last spring, just for a bit of greenery, maybe a little scent. It looked fresh, lively. But ever since, the house has felt different, restless somehow, like conversations never quite land. Like sleep comes later and the mornings feel heavier. It seems harmless, doesn't it? A pretty little plant in a ceramic pot catching sunlight. But what if that living thing wasn't just decoration? What if it was redirecting something invisible? Energy, emotion, even fortune. For generations, our ancestors believed the plants near the entrance to a home weren't just for beauty. They were guardians, invitations, or unknowingly blockers. The right plant can soften the space, ease tension, open the path for abundance to flow in like a quiet stream. But the wrong one. It can feel like a whisper of friction at the threshold, a door that doesn't want to open fully. This isn't superstition, it's quiet wisdom. In Feng Shui, plants are messengers of energy, some call in blessings. Others, if placed carelessly, can scatter good fortune like leaves in the wind. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what's planted near your front door right now? Is it welcoming peace or unknowingly keeping it out? In this video, we'll explore 10 powerful houseplants, not just for how they look, but for what they bring. You'll discover the soft power of nature's design and how just one shift in placement could gently redirect the flow of your home's fortune. Let's begin at the entrance. 1. Guardian plants at the entrance, aloe vera and snake plant. You placed a beautiful plant near the door, but why does the house still feel heavy? That question lingers like morning mist. You water the plant, you clean the walkway. The space looks welcoming, yet something feels off, like the house itself is sighing. And you wonder, what is the energy right at your threshold trying to tell you? The front entrance is more than just a doorway. In Feng Shui, it's the mouth of Kai, the place where energy enters, the first impression your home gives to the world and more quietly to yourself. What stands at that threshold matters. And in this sacred space, some plants don't just stand, they guard. Let me show you 2 of the most trusted guardians, plants that don't call attention to themselves, but hold a quiet strength that can shift the atmosphere of your entire home. Leaf fluttering in wind, let's begin with aloe vera, the silent sentinel that listens before it protects. There's something ancient about aloe vera. Its thick, cool leaves seem to store not just moisture, but memory. In many cultures, aloe is called the plant of immortality, a symbol of healing that survived centuries of tradition, from Egyptian tombs to grandmothers' windowsills. But aloe's power in Feng Shui goes far beyond skin-deep healing. It is said that aloe vera absorbs misfortune silently, drawing it into its leaves so your family doesn't have to. Imagine this: someone visits your home carrying sadness or tension. Before that energy spreads through your living room, it brushes against the aloe at the door and stays there. The plant wilts a little. Maybe its leaves spot or turn inward. It's not a gardening error, it's protection in action. Spiritual teachings believe when aloe starts struggling without explanation, it may be absorbing dense energy from the environment. It's your signal to listen. Placement is everything. Aloe should sit near the front entrance, but not pressed into a dark corner. It needs space to breathe, just like you do. Indirect sunlight, well-drained soil, and a gentle wipe of its leaves once a week can keep its energy field strong. Never let aloe sit in soggy soil. In Feng Shui terms, that's like letting a guardian drown in emotion. Moisture overload becomes emotional clutter, weakening its protective shield. You don't need a row of them. Just one placed with love and presence is enough. Like a silent doorkeeper, it filters energy before it enters your home and your heart. Now shift your gaze. to the bold, upright leaves standing tall in the corner. This is the snake plant, the energy sword. Where aloe is gentle, the snake plant is bold. With tall, upright leaves shaped like blades, the snake plant is often described as a sword of light piercing through stagnant energy. It doesn't just block negativity, it cuts through it. Also called mother-in-law's tongue in the West and respected across many cultures, this plant symbolizes resilience, strength, and unwavering protection. Its vertical structure represents grounded strength, like a flag planted at your doorstep, declaring that your home is sacred and chaos isn't welcome. In Feng Shui, snake plants are considered perfect for places that tend to collect emotional clutter. Hallways, near front doors, and even by the stairs. But its power is subtle. It doesn't radiate joy or burst into flowers. Instead, it creates a strong boundary field, like the feeling you get when someone finally stands up for you in a room full of noise. Here's the key: snake plants must be kept clean. Dust that gathers on its tall leaves isn't just a visual issue. It symbolically blocks the energy it's meant to filter. Gently wiping each blade with a soft cloth once a week is like polishing a protective shield. As you clean it, imagine releasing the layers of stress and worry it may have caught for you. And unlike most plants, the snake plant releases oxygen at night, making it one of the few protectors that work while you sleep. It's ideal for bedrooms with poor ventilation or entryways that feel heavy even after cleaning. But beware of overwatering. These plants are drought-tolerant for a reason. Too much moisture leads to root rot and dulls its energy. Dryness represents clarity, stillness, sharpness of focus. If aloe is the calm guardian, snake plant is the vigilant warrior. Together, they create a balance at your doorway, soft and firm, healing and strong. Fog and what happens when these guardians are missing or misplaced. Let's pause here and feel the subtle consequence. Without proper energetic gatekeepers, the energy at your front door may scatter. This can show up as restless sleep, unresolved tension between family members, unexpected delays in money matters, a sense of fogginess even in a clean home. It's not always about clutter or lighting. Sometimes it's the unseen energy that lingers and loops without direction. One woman shared that after placing aloe near her entrance, her migraines, always worse when guests came over, eased noticeably. She hadn't changed her diet, sleep, or routine, just a plant. But that one shift softened something unseen. These things don't always announce themselves, but they build. And just as tension collects in your shoulders, it collects at the door. Compass, so how do you begin? How do you work with aloe and snake plant as more than decoration? Let's turn wisdom into gentle action. 1, stand at your door with your eyes closed. What do you feel? Is it quiet, pushing back, or drawing you in? 2, let your intention guide the plant. Oh, if you need peace and emotional repair, choose aloe. Oh, if you need strength, protection, and boundaries, choose snake plant. 3, place them like a welcome, deliberate and clean. Leave space around the pot. Let light find it. You might even tuck in a word written softly: peace, home, clarity. 4, care with presence, not pressure. Water with awareness. Wipe the leaves like you would clear a mirror before reflection. Let that act become a small ritual. 5, and when the time comes to replace it, do so with gratitude. A dying plant isn't a failure. It's often a signal the work has been done. Begin again. Crescent moon and maybe. Here's the part we don't often say out loud. Every threshold is a choice. Do we invite chaos or calm? Plants don't just beautify, they translate, they absorb, they stand in places where we forget to. And at your door, where the world ends and your sanctuary begins, the right plant can speak louder than words. So if you've been feeling like something off at home, Maybe it's not about the furniture or the lighting or even the people. Maybe it's time to plant a guardian at the gate. 2 wealth flow openers, lucky bamboo and jade plant. They don't shout for wealth. They don't promise magic. But over generations, they've become quiet allies in homes that feel open, generous, and gently abundant. Some plants don't protect you. They invite the right energy in. Let's walk deeper now, beyond the gatekeepers, and meet the plants that guide prosperity inward like a flowing stream. If you've ever felt like fortune skips your doorstep, even when you've worked hard and stayed grateful, maybe the flow isn't blocked by effort, but by arrangement. Pine decoration first, meet the one they call the flow of prosperity, lucky bamboo. Simple, graceful, almost invisible in its presence. But in Feng Shui, lucky bamboo is considered one of the strongest conductors of positive Kai. It's not the size of its leaves that matters, but its shape, its symbolism, and where it stands. Its upright stalks represent upward growth, steady fortune, and resilience, like a prayer written in green. And did you know, the number of stalks matters, 3 stalks for happiness, 5 for wealth, 7 for health, 21 to bless every corner of life. But here, S where intention meets caution. If you place lucky bamboo in the wrong location, or let its water go cloudy, it can do the opposite of what you hope. Yes, really. Cloudy water isn't just unattractive. In energy terms, it's stagnation. It means dreams are stuck. Flow has stopped. That gentle stream of abundance has nowhere to go. To keep your bamboo alive and energetically active, refresh its water every 2 weeks. Use clean, filtered water, not tap. Anchor it in smooth stones to stabilize its Kai. Avoid placing it in bathrooms or beneath harsh light. And most importantly, place it with intention. So where should it go? The southeast corner of your home is known as the wealth area. This is where bamboo thrives energetically. Your work desk or cash drawer is also a symbolic location, especially for women running home businesses or managing family finances quietly but powerfully. Lucky bamboo isn't loud, it doesn't flower, but when you sit beside it, something eases, some part of you softens, and from that softness, prosperity finds its path. Seedling and now the jade plant, thick, strong, and steady like a wise old friend. Where lucky bamboo flows, the jade plant grounds. This little succulent, with its coin-shaped leaves and sturdy posture, has long been honored as a symbol of financial wisdom, not just gain. Its energy encourages stable growth, mindful spending, and long-term security. In many Asian traditions, jade plants are placed at the entrances of shops or near cash registers. Not to chase money, but to welcome intelligent wealth. The kind that builds slowly, stays long, and feeds peace, not anxiety. There's a reason it's often called the money tree, though it's not the same species. The jade plant carries strong yang energy, active, focused, slightly assertive. And this is why it should never be placed in bedrooms. Yes, its energy is too sharp for places meant for rest. It activates the mind. It can disturb sleep or leave the heart feeling slightly stirred. Think of it like a light left on overnight, not blinding, but never letting the body settle fully. Instead, let your jade plant live. In your southeast wealth corner, near financial documents, at your home office desk, by the entrance to a workspace. It doesn't need much: bright indirect light, dry soil, water only when the top inch is dry. Wipe the leaves gently to keep them breathing, like cleaning windows to let the light in. And if the jade plant begins to droop despite your care, it might not be you. Some believe the plant absorbs tension from your home. Like aloe, it takes on what you cannot. If that happens, don't panic. Clean the area, repot if needed, thank it, begin again. Counterclockwise arrows button, so what happens when these wealth-guiding plants are missing or misunderstood? Maybe you've tried everything, worked hard, saved diligently, even whispered prayers by candlelight. But still, the flow feels stuck. Sometimes we block wealth not with our actions, but with our arrangements. A lucky bamboo placed in a cluttered bathroom, a jade plant dying quietly beside your pillow, a symbolic plant placed carelessly as an afterthought. These aren't just decor mistakes. They're energetic misalignments. But here's the gift. Plants forgive quickly. They don't hold grudges. A new placement, a clean vase, a little light, can bring everything back to balance. Herb, let's bring this home with a few small shifts, gentle ways to invite flow back into your life. 1. Stand in the southeast corner of your home. Breathe. Look around. Is it cluttered, forgotten, or open and ready? 2. Bring in one plant at a time. Oh, if you need clarity and optimism, begin with lucky bamboo. Oh, if you seek stability and confident planning, start with jade. 3. Clean the plant, the pot, and the space around it. Oh, clear dust. Oh, light a candle nearby for 1 hour. Oh, whisper your intention, not out loud, but from the chest. Let fortune flow like breath, steady, quiet, alive. 4. Check in weekly, water, wipe, breathe beside the plant, not to make it work, but to stay connected. Prosperity, like plants, needs presence. Crescent moon, and maybe the real wealth these plants bring, isn't just financial. It's the soft peace that comes when you stop chasing and start receiving. When you arrange your space as a gentle invitation, not a demand. Lucky bamboo and jade don't guarantee windfalls, but they quiet the resistance inside you, the part that doubts, hesitates, or apologizes for wanting more. They remind you that growth can be silent. That wealth can feel like peace. That fortune comes not through control, but through care. So if your life has felt blocked, if you've worked hard with little return, maybe it's time to stop forcing the flow and gently open the gate. Place a stalk, plant a jade, clear a corner, light a candle, and then let it come. 3. Soothing energy plants, lavender and peace lily. Winsome plants don't protect. Some don't attract wealth. They simply remind you to breathe. After all the effort to guard the doorway and open the flow, there comes a moment where we need softness, a return to quiet. To let the home exhale, to let the nervous system settle. Because wealth means nothing if the home feels tight, noisy, or hard to rest in. That's where the next 2 plants come in, lavender and the peace lily. They don't just sit on windowsills. They reset your space like a whisper resets the tone of a room. Purple heart, let's begin with lavender, the plant that speaks directly to your breath. You walk into a room and immediately your shoulders drop. The tension in your neck loosens. Your chest rises deeper than it did just a second ago. You didn't even notice, but your body did. That's lavender, soft, invisible, and deeply effective. Often called the soother of the soul, lavender has been cherished for centuries, not just for its scent, but for its impact on our internal weather. In ancient Egypt, it was used in embalming rituals to protect the soul's journey into the afterlife. The Romans added it to baths, believing it cleansed not just the skin, but the spirit. And today we know from science what our ancestors already trusted. Lavender lowers heart rate, reduces anxiety, and promotes deeper sleep. But here's what often goes unnoticed. Lavender doesn't thrive in every corner. It needs sun, air, a bit of dryness. If you place it in a damp or dark area, the scent dulls, the leaves sag, and its energy dims. Stagnant air dulls its power, just like unresolved emotion dulls ours. So place it near a sunny window, in your bedroom, not too close to the vent. in sachets tucked into drawers or meditation corners, or right beside where you drink tea and wind down. And when you water it, speak softly, not words necessarily, but presence. Lavender is one of those plants that responds not to how often you care, but to how you care. And then there's the peace lily, a bloom that feels like a quiet apology between two people who love each other deeply. Its white blossom rises gently above glossy leaves like a flag of surrender, not to weakness but to harmony. In spiritual traditions, it's seen as a bridge between stress and serenity. The peace lily doesn't demand beauty. It creates it. It also happens to be one of the most powerful air purifiers. NASA even confirmed it. This plant can remove toxins like benzene and ammonia from your space. But more than cleaning air, it cleanses emotional noise. If you've had frequent arguments in a room, if tension lingers in corners after guests leave, if grief, frustration, or exhaustion seem to sit in a space long after the moment passed, the peace lily helps. It's best placed in bedrooms to promote emotional rest, living rooms where family energy gathers, tight hallways or transition spaces, anywhere you've recently cried. But please do not overwater it. The peace lily is sensitive. Water only when the soil is dry to the touch. Too much moisture leads to root rot, and symbolically, that's emotional overwhelm. And never place it under a direct air conditioner or fan. Harsh airflow is like criticism. It stresses the system more than it helps. Wipe its leaves gently with a damp cloth. Let it shine. Let it breathe. Let it do the work it was born for. Person, female, so what does your home feel like emotionally? We often ask if it's clean, organized, well lit, but pause, go deeper. Does it feel soft? Does it invite you to exhale? Can your nervous system drop even for 1 minute without distraction? If not, lavender and peace lily might be the medicine your space is asking for. You don't need candles. You don't need perfect lighting. You need breath, stillness. A plant that holds emotional weight for you, so your body doesn't have to. Herb here asks how to invite that softness back into your space, gently and intentionally. Pick one plant first, lavender or peace lily. Oh, if your stress shows up in the body, tension, shallow breath, begin with lavender. Oh, if your stress sits in the room, emotional heaviness, conflict, begin with peace lily. 2, choose placement with feeling, not logic. Oh, stand in the space. Close your eyes, feel where you most want relief, that's your spot. 3, water only when the plant asks. Oh, use your finger, not your calendar. Oh, pay attention to the soil and leaves, not the schedule. 4, create a care ritual. Oh, once a week, wipe the leaves with a soft cloth. Oh, light a candle beside it, just for 15 minutes. Oh, sit nearby and breathe until you forget you're doing it. 5, speak to the plant with your presence. You don't need mantras, just awareness. The plant doesn't absorb your words, it absorbs your stillness. Crescent moon, and maybe that's the real gift of these plants. Not that they change the space, but that they let the space change you. In a world where we chase clarity, lavender reminds us to slow down. In a home that holds history and heartbreak, the peace lily says, "It's okay. You don't have to hold all of it anymore." Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to protect or manifest, but to release. Let lavender breathe with you. Let the peace lily rest with you. Let silence begin to feel safe again. And if all you do this week is water a small plant with full attention, you've already shifted the entire energy of your home. 4, mental clarity and wisdom boosters, rosemary and basil. If wealth flows through openness and rest blooms through calm, then wisdom arrives in stillness. It's the part of your home and your life that asks for clarity, for decision-making without chaos, For a moment where your thoughts feel like clear water instead of crashing waves. Sometimes it's not luck or protection you need. It's focus, clean thinking, a return to your own wisdom. And that's where these next two plants become more than herbs. They become allies of the mind, rosemary and basil. Let's start with rosemary, the memory keeper. Long before essential oils and wellness blogs, rosemary was worn as a crown by students in ancient Greece. Scholars believed it sharpened focus and helped the brain retain what mattered. Even Shakespeare knew it. In Hamlet, Ophelia says, "There's rosemary, that's for remembrance." But its power isn't just literary or symbolic. Modern studies have shown that rosemary's scent actually stimulates brain function, reduces mental fatigue, and can ease anxiety when focus is clouded. But it goes deeper. Energetically, rosemary is grounding and clearing. It's the plant you turn to when thoughts spiral, when grief fogs the head, when decisions feel too tangled to face. Its sharp, slightly piney scent wakes up the room and the mind. So where should you place rosemary? On your desk or work corner, beside books or journals, in the kitchen where nourishment meets awareness, or in any space where conversations often go in circles. It loves sunlight and airflow. Give it room to stretch and breathe. And if you feel emotionally heavy, even without knowing why, try burning a few sprigs of dried rosemary in a fire-safe bowl. Let the smoke clear the unseen clutter. It's like opening a window for your thoughts. Leaf fluttering in wind, and then comes basil, the sacred herb of sacred homes. You may know basil as a kitchen staple, but in many spiritual traditions, it's far more. In Hindu culture, holy basil, or tulsi, is worshipped as a goddess in plant form. Families grow it near the entrance as a protector and bringer of divine clarity. In ancient Mediterranean lands, basil was known as the herb of kings, planted near temples and palaces. Its very presence symbolized spiritual favor, abundance, and noble thought. But beyond myth, basil has a strong, energetic purpose. It's an emotional freshener. It clears mental fog and uplifts stuck or stale spaces. Its scent is sweet, peppery, alive. It's like joy that knows how to speak clearly. Use basil when your thoughts feel dry, when you feel blocked in expressing something that matters, when the house is clean but something still feels tangled. Where does basil belong? In the kitchen where daily energy flows. Near your front door to uplift energy as it enters. Or even beside your journal, where words struggle to come out. But be gentle, basil is sensitive. It doesn't like overwatering or dark spaces. It thrives in warmth and indirect sun, in soil that's moist but not soggy. Watch for its leaves. If they start drooping or falling with no clear cause, your basil might be absorbing emotional static. When that happens, don't just water it, clean the space around it. Let it reset. Thought balloon and what happens when clarity is missing from a home. It doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's just scattered. You lose your train of thought mid-sentence. Conversations circle back without resolve. Papers pile up, even when you thought you just cleaned. You forget what you walked into the room for. It's not just age, it's not just busyness. It's energetic congestion. And sometimes the only way to clear it is with something alive, something that carries its own sense of focus. That's what rosemary and basil do. They don't just smell good, they set a tone. They encourage attention without stress. Magnifying glass tilted left, so how can you bring their clarity into your space and your day? Here's a small practice you can begin right now. One, choose your clarity guide. Oh, need mental focus or grounded decision-making? Choose rosemary. Oh, need emotional freshness and communication support? Go with basil. Two, place it where tension rises most. Sit in each room for 1 quiet minute. Where do you fidget the most? That's your plant's place. 3. Create a clearing moment. Light a small candle beside the plant. Sit with your eyes open. Say, let my thoughts return to stillness. Let this space speak clearly again. 4. Inhale slowly, just 5 slow breaths. Let the scent reach your body. Don't try to think. Let the clarity come to you. 5. Care with rhythm, not pressure. These plants don't ask for much, but they respond best to calm, consistent care. Water gently. Wipe leaves, let them breathe. Wind, and maybe what these plants really offer, is not clarity itself, but the conditions where clarity can finally arrive. In a busy world, silence often feels like a luxury. But in your home, with a few living companions placed with love, it can become your new baseline. Rosemary sharpens, basil softens. Together, they clear a path inside you that you might have forgotten was there. A path where decisions come easily, where truth feels gentle, where thought and feeling stop fighting and start flowing again. So if your home feels loud, even in its quiet moments, if your head spins at night, despite the stillness, maybe all you need is one pot, one breath, one leaf held in light, and one whisper, let my thoughts settle, let my space speak clearly. 5. Communication and fresh flow, mint and pothos. Dashing away after we restore clarity. We listen for connection. There's a different kind of energy that makes a home feel truly alive. It's not wealth, not even rest, it's flow. Movement, conversation. The kind of quiet momentum that keeps life from feeling stuck. And when that flow is missing, you can feel it. The house might be clean but heavy. Your words might come out but not quite reach. Emotions stay bottled. Rooms go quiet for the wrong reasons. That's where these 2 plants bring their gift, not as guardians or givers of fortune, but as energetic breezes that lift what's been held down too long. Let me show you 2 such allies, mint and pothos. Herbs start with mint, the breath of fresh energy. You probably know mint for its bright, crisp scent. A tea, a garnish, a toothpaste flavor. But energetically, mint is much more than just refreshing. It's a mood shifter, a communicator, a catalyst. In plant folklore and Feng Shui, mint is used to release emotional blockages, especially in homes where silence weighs heavy or where words get stuck between people. Its energy is light, fast-growing, slightly unpredictable. Just like emotions, just like conversation when it's real and honest. When you have conflict without resolution, misunderstanding without words, or just too much left unsaid, mint helps move that air. Where should you place mint? Near doorways to freshen the flow between rooms. In the kitchen window, where connection happens daily. On a balcony or porch, where it catches light and wind. Near a phone, journal, or communication area. But there's one rule with mint. Give it its own pot. Mint spreads quickly. If planted with others, it can overtake the soil, just like unspoken emotion can overwhelm a space if not honored clearly. Care for it like you would care for a guest who talks a little too fast, but always brings laughter. Water regularly. Trim often. Let light in. Let air move. If it begins to droop or dry out, check the environment. Mint responds instantly to stuck air. It's your plant thermometer for emotional climate. Seedling, and now meet pothos, the soft weaver of emotional repair. Pothos doesn't make a show of itself. It doesn't bloom or speak loudly. But it grows, slowly, gently, over edges and down shelves, like a gentle thread weaving harmony through corners we forget to look at. In Feng Shui and spiritual plant traditions, pothos is considered a healer of stagnant emotion. Not the kind you shout about, but the kind that lingers unspoken, layered, hidden in corners. Its long vines soften harsh edges. Its gentle green invites ease. Where should you place it? in the corners of rooms that feel emotionally cold, near family photos to gently mend generational tension, on shelves or walls where energy feels frozen, in bathrooms where emotions are often processed in private. Pothos thrives in indirect light and is extremely forgiving. It's the plant that says, "It's okay, start again, grow again." Even when neglected, it keeps offering softness until you're ready to tend to it again. Water when the soil is dry and give it space to trail and stretch. And if you trim it, place the cut vine in a small glass of water, it will root again, just like you. Cyclone, but what happens when emotional energy can't flow? It doesn't always show up as arguments or breakdowns. Sometimes it's the quiet, a dinner table where no one really talks, a room that always feels empty, even when people are in it. Days passing without clarity or connection. When words stop moving, energy stagnates. And when emotion has no safe place to go, it hardens. Mint and pothos remind us that movement doesn't have to be loud. A lifted scent, a trailing vine, a breeze of green, that's enough to shift something. Leaf fluttering in wind lets invite that movement back in, gently, naturally, without forcing. One, ask your home, where does the energy feel tight? Walk through slowly, breathe, pause. Notice which corners feel paused, withheld, or emotionally dry. 2, choose your flow activator. O for spoken release, uplift, and fresh starts, mint. O for emotional softness, healing of silence, pothos. 3, create a breath corner. Place the plant near a window, door, or mirror. Let it reflect movement. Add a bell, wind chime, or even a bowl of water nearby, symbols of flow. 4, trim regularly and with intention. When you cut back mint or pothos, whisper softly. Make space for something lighter. 5, let the plant grow toward your connection points. Guide pothos vines toward a reading nook, a sofa where you talk with a loved one, or a place where you once laughed often. Plants know how to reach. Let them show you how to reopen. Wind and perhaps, these plants don't fix relationships or give you the right words, but they remind the room how to breathe again. Mint says, speak it. Pothos says, let it soften. Together, they restore momentum to hearts that have been holding too much too long. You don't need a breakthrough. You need air. You don't need to fix everything. Just let something flow again. So if you've been walking through your home wondering why things feel quiet in the wrong way, try this brew mint tea. Place pothos near the place where words got stuck. Light a candle and open the window. Say nothing, then just breathe. The plant will speak for you, the air will carry it, and what's meant to be said will find its way. Final, crescent moon. Not every plant changes the energy of a home, but the way you care for it can. Maybe it starts with wiping dust off a leaf, or noticing how the light falls differently on the pot by your window. Maybe you stand in silence and see for the first time in weeks that one little vine is reaching, gently, persistently toward warmth. That's what these plants are. They're not solutions, they're companions. Quiet reminders that your space is listening, that your energy is listening, that even if nothing outside changes, something inside can shift. You don't need to become a gardener. You don't need a green thumb or a perfect shelf. You just need presence, stillness, intention. Let the aloe protect. Let the bamboo guide. Let the lavender soothe. Let the mint breathe. And let your home slowly become the kind of place that holds you gently, clearly, and well. Because maybe healing isn't about fixing anything. Maybe it's about letting energy move again, through space, through breath, through one small green life that simply says, I'm still here, and I'm still growing. So before you close this video, pause for one last question. Which part of your home is quietly asking to grow again with you?